Hey guys, welcome back to Auto Repair guys. Thank you guys for watching and subscribing to the channel. Today will be super helpful video to any of you having a Hyundai Sonata. If you guys have a Hyundai Sonata and your heater doesn't work, we will explain the most common reasons for that. And one of those things, most people never think about that, but it could be something super simple that if you do not fix on time, you can actually overheat your engine, say bye-bye to your engine, and you may need to spend thousands of dollars to fix it. So before we start, let me tell you a little bit about us. Every single car we get at the garage, we try to make at least 200 to 300 free repair videos. Why we do that? Simply because our mission in the shop is to save you as much money as we can. All we need in return, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, that way we can keep making these free videos for you guys. Now, if you need to buy any parts, tools for your Hyundai Sonata or any car, check out the link in the description of the video below. That's where we get all our tools and supplies from. So with that being said, let's explain what we have here. This specifically is a 2.4 GDI engine, but even if you have a different Hyundai Sonata, different engine, the procedure is about the same. So how the system works, how your heater works. Okay, your engine is cooled by engine coolant. You have engine coolant in the engine block, you have engine coolant in the cylinder head, and engine coolant in the radiator. Now in the radiator it's the cold coolant. The engine usually stays at about certain temperature, let's say 90 degrees Celsius. This is regulated by the thermostat, which is right here in the thermostat housing. This is your thermostat, guys. So it stays hot. Why? Because the car is efficient, the fuel ignites easily, you have power as well. But now, if it gets too hot, it overheats. If it gets cold, it's not efficient, it doesn't run good. So then that coolant automatically from here, okay, you can see that's the thermostat housing. You have two hoses on the back, we just connected them, but it says engine heater right here. And it says one here, one inlet, one outlet, and it goes to a radiator core, okay, heater core that's behind the dash of your Hyundai Sonata, that will actually look like a small radiator, and it will actually create that heat. So coolant will be the one heating your heater, guys. Now, if the heater doesn't work, number one thing for that thing, okay guys, it's actually not mechanical related problem to the engine, okay? In most cases, you need to, okay, check and make sure that the thermostat is actually functioning. If the thermostat is stuck open, that coolant will be circulating all the time and the engine will not be able to reach normal operating temperature. So open thermostat is one of them. Number two, guys, it could be something completely different than the engine. And I'm talking about blend door actuator. The blend door actuator is in the dash and it's a flap that opens between hot and cold. So when you adjust the temperature on your car, it flips, let's say, hot, cold, so it can adjust the right temperature. If that actuator, it has plastic gears inside brakes, it may get stuck at cold, even though the motor is moving and it detects it's on warm, but the flap itself will not move. That can cause, okay, the heater to be stuck on cold, and you will need to replace or test blend door actuator. We have a video how to do that, so please check it out. Number three, guys. Okay, could be something completely different. Let's say you did a thermostat replacement, coolant flush, or you flush the coolant, drain the coolant, replace the radiator, anything, cylinder head, whatever mechanical work you did that involved draining the coolant, and then you just add coolant, but you did not bleed the cooling system. What could happen at that point? You can develop an air pocket that can get stuck, okay, and it can prevent coolant from flowing freely, and that's why the heater may not work, but also the engine may not be cooling correctly, and you can overheat your engine. So when draining the coolant and you add coolant, always bleed the cooling system. If you don't do it right, okay, you can overheat the engine. That can cost you thousands of dollars. Another thing, guys, number five, it could be problems with blown head gasket, okay, cracked cylinder head or engine block. Any of those things, okay, can actually, what it can cause, let's say most common one from those three will be blown head gasket. The head gasket, okay, you can see it has three components. This is the cylinder, it makes sure that it keeps compressor in the cylinder only. This is the coolant chamber, make sure that coolant doesn't go anywhere else, and this is the oil passage that makes sure coolant and oil don't mix. So if the head gasket fails, usually the piston, when the combustion happens, it will be under enormous amount of pressure, and the blown head gasket will allow hot air to come to the coolant, which will create air pockets, and that can cause your heater not to work, and at that point you may start even overheating your car. So you need to fix it on time, or you can cause even more damage to the engine, guys. So those are some of the most common things that we see here in the shop. Another thing, you gotta make sure you have enough coolant in the radiator. If you're low on coolant, your heater may not work as well. So check your coolant level and do that only when the car is cold. Let it sit overnight because coolant is hot and under pressure and it can severely burn you. Thank you for watching and see you guys next time.